este cordero, arrastrado por la furia y el pecado, y acógelo en el paraíso, en tu seno inmaculado. Oh Señor, misericordioso, muéstrale a esa
What is evil? Question that has plagued humanity for centuries. Is it a force that comes from beyond our world? Or is it something more insidious that lurks within us? At its core, Resident Evil is a story about the consequences of human ambition and the dangers of playing God. It's a cautionary tale about the hubris of science and the potential consequences of unleashing something that is beyond our control. In the Resident Evil series, evil is not simply a matter of demons and supernatural forces. It is a product of human experimentation and ambition, a corruption that spreads like a pestilence. But if there's no supernatural outside force deeming something as evil, then what is considered evil? Can evil even be objectively defined? Insect, parasite, virus. These things are not inherently evil. They exist in the natural world. They're not conjured by some demonic entity. The T-virus itself is not evil. It's simply a biological agent with certain properties. Perhaps the researchers and scientists who experimented with these agents could be seen as truly evil. However, there are examples throughout the series of scientists experimenting, helping to manipulate a virus, and they think that they're doing something good, and their research will be used for some noble cause. They're not thinking that they're doing evil, they're just doing science. They're blissfully unaware of the terror that will be unleashed, that they helped to create, until it is far too late. In the Spencer mansion, many of the employees committed suicide once the T-virus leaked. Once they saw, and once they understood the horror they helped create, they chose to no longer go on living. This is a different kind of evil, one that hides in the darkness of humanity's hubris. In the Resident Evil 1 remake, the player must collect 4 masks. These 4 masks are described in the Book of Curses.
A mask that speaks no evil. A mask that smells no evil. A mask that sees no evil. A mask that cannot speak, smell, or see evil. When all 4 fall into place, evil will awaken.
I believe these masks, and the description about them, is almost describing the researchers and scientists that work for Umbrella in the Spencer Mansion. They're not evil people. They don't speak or see or smell evil. But when evil presents itself, maybe they'll just turn a blind eye to it and continue about their research until eventually the evil awakens. And of course, the main villains of the series are a little bit different. They seek to control the very essence of life and death, using viruses or parasites to manipulate the minds and bodies of those around them. They and their followers become monsters, having their humanity stripped away by their own lust for power. But are the villains of the series true evil? These villains that use science and technology to create monsters and wreak havoc without the regard for the safety and well-being of others? As they go on their conquest for power that rivals godhood? It isn't supernatural evil, but perhaps these villains could be seen as a type of evil. But what makes them evil? Is it their intent to harm others? The consequences of their actions? Is having power inherently evil? In many cases, the villains in the Resident Evil series can be seen as examples of what Nietzsche called master morality. These villains have seized power and control over others through force or manipulation. And in Resident Evil's case, sometimes literally controlling others' actions with their mind. These villains see themselves as superior to their fellow humans, believe that their actions are justified by their status or their goals. But they would not call themselves evil. In fact, they would probably say they are good. And what is good is their traits of power and dominance.
You would want that. Revenge. You think I'm doing all this for revenge?
Isn't that what this is all about?
See, in that jungle, I had a revelation. The most important thing in this world is pure, unadulterated power. Those Illuminados have given me that.
You know, you were always an asshole. But at least you had some kind of code. Some honor. And look at you now.
Enough reminiscing. Move out and draw fire, soldier!
Are you saying I was manufactured?
I was to become a god. Creating a new world with an advanced race of human beings. However, ironic, isn't it? For one who has the right to be a god. To face his own mortality.
The right to be a god. That right is now mine.
It is also interesting how many Resident Evil villains present themselves as religious figures, or compare themselves to being a god. And yet, in their pursuit of power, they ultimately become the very thing they sought to control. They become infected with the same corruption they created, and they lose themselves in the very evil they sought to harness. Is evil something that can be resisted or overcome? Or is it an inevitable consequence of certain circumstances or situations? Like an innocent person becoming possessed by a demon from hell.
I don't know. Well, what would you like to do? Got any ideas? Let me think. What can we do? Hey, we never...
I see. Well, then let's introduce ourselves. I'm Damien Karras.
And I'm the devil. Now kindly undo these straps.
If you're the devil, why not make the straps disappear?
That's much too vulgar display of power, Karras.
And they slowly descend into madness and evil, slowly losing their free will till there's none left. It's really similar to the way that the viruses and parasites in Resident Evil transform the infected individuals over time. The gradual loss of humanity and the descent into monstrosity can be seen as a metaphor for the gradual loss of morality, the descent into evil, and of losing your own free will. So what is evil? Well, in Resident Evil, it's not some supernatural force that exists outside of us. It is a reminder of the darkness that lies within us all, a corruption that can consume even the most brilliant and ambitious among us. The unintended consequences of our ambitions and our desire to control the natural world. It's a lesson that we must always be mindful of the power we wield and the potential for that power to be turned against us. And as we fight our way through the game's challenges, we must confront this evil within ourselves, lest we too become the monsters we seek to destroy.